On me. Two, 360-degree core. All right, so it's not just this side, it's not just that side, it's not just this side, it's not just that side, it's all the sides. All right, we're gonna work around the clock on this one. All right, so let's do a little warm up first. All right, so there's definitely gonna be some specific ab stuff that you're gonna go, wow, that's definitely ab something. All right, but there's also gonna be stuff for the lower back, for the obliques. We're gonna be working around this torso, this trunk here. All right, so this kind of work is very, very beneficial because you're gonna need a core just to do manual labor around the yard. All right, so this is gonna be a great workout to train up this core for like real life use. All right, get some jumping jacks going. So a little disclaimer here is, like you're exercising on video, so I can't see what you're doing, so you just make sure. Not all exercises are great for all people, so if you're feeling something that feels cranky, negative, things like that, stop, listen to my advice, or get with a one-on-one session with me or some other provider that can help you with whatever you've got that feeling, okay? All right, so just, be wise here, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and tap back, reach up. All right, so we're getting things loosened up. All right, good idea to do before you really just jump in, because sometimes if something's tight in your body, that tight spot makes you shift in a funny way and you put too much pressure somewhere else, and that somewhere else gets a little hurt, all right? So we're gonna try to make sure we get our tight spots loosened up a little bit before we really get into this. All right? Oof. All right, kick back, crisscross. So, my little picture, yeah, the picture. So we did a food drive and they were really sweet. I mean, they said, listen, we have this plaque for you guys. So I accepted this plaque on behalf of all of our clients. I was like, it's 3,600 pounds of food, that they brought in for this food drive. So it makes me look cool, but I didn't bring 3,600 pounds of food in. They did, all right? And so it's just super cool to be part of a group of people that is that generous, and making the world better. And so if you haven't done something that makes you feel generous, you should. You should do some of those things, because you feel better about yourself and about what you're doing here in this world. So it doesn't mean you have to give giant sums of money or something like that, or crazy amounts of food or something. Just being generous and giving to others of your time, of your energy, of helping somebody out. It feels very, very good. It's very, very good to do that. A little Frankenstein walk, a little kick in there. So the workout, we've got the first round, we're gonna do a minute side plank the other side, and then a minute of burpees. We're gonna fire through that 3 times, and then we'll move on to the next block, which is going to be a dumbbell stiff leg deadlift, all right, with V-ups and then fast feet, all right? And then we're gonna run through that 3 times, and then we got the dumbbell row, one side, the other side, and then a plank, all right? And by the end of that, we're gonna be pretty tired. Like, we might not be able to finish all the way through the minute on those dumbbell rows, because it's gonna be pretty challenging. Let me get a little squat hold to wrap it up here a little bit here. All right, so push that butt back, squeeze the knees out. Getting those hips loosened up is really, really valuable for this. All right, so I have some dumbbells for that deadlift and for that row. All right, so just a hand weight there. You're gonna find a weight that's a good challenge for you. I'm gonna use 2 for the deadlift, so because it's a stronger exercise, I'm gonna use 1 for the row. So most people should be able to pull off a fairly easy 15-pound dumbbell row. If you have an injury, it might be lighter. And if you're pretty strong, we've got plenty of women who are doing 30, 35 or maybe up to 40 pounds on those. So it can be done, pretty high. So side plank is what we've got up first here, all right? So I'm gonna come down here and get my timer set. We'll talk through it as we do it, okay? All right, Bobby, let me know. All right, here we go, up. All right, so now my elbow is underneath me. So I'm gonna set it up underneath me, and then I'm gonna lift off here, all right? So I got this side plank. Push the hips forward, push the chest out, squeeze the hip up. All right, we're holding and bracing here. Now, this is a pretty hard version. You can do from the knees. You bend the feet back behind you. All right, everything's kind of the same, except You're now on your knees, but you're still lifting your hips up. You're still pushing your hips forward. Your abs are still in tight. Arm is pressing to the ground. You don't want to be like sinking down. I don't want to even demonstrate that because it makes my shoulder feel cranky if I sink in there, but you're actively engaging the shoulder, armpit, and squeezing the shoulder away from the ear, not letting it sink up into your ear as you're doing this, all right? So I'll come up in here. Another 15 seconds. Hips up, chest is out, butt's tight. Yes. All right. All right, so that's got a good side of, that's one side of the core, right? Working on our 360 degrees. All right, so make sure that arm's underneath you. Scoot a little bit so it's stacked fairly vertical. You can bring the other arm up, it goes fairly vertical with that one there too. Hips are up, hips are forward, abs in tight. We're bracing, holding, but squeezing. But squeezing as we do this. All right, remember, you can do this from the knees also. All right, so don't discount that one. It's not like a ton easier, but it's a little less pressure on the shoulder, which you might want if your shoulder's not feeling great on this, okay? All right, abs in tight. We got about 15 seconds. Hips are up, hips are forward, abs in tight. Now it's gonna be fairly true that by the third set or so, second or third set, we might not be able to hold the whole minute. All right, burpees. Now you can do like a coffee table on this one, or you can go all the way to floor here. All right. All right. So if you got an elevated surface, sometimes when I used to be at people's houses, I'd flip up a cushion on the couch, and usually there's a nice little piece of wood on the front edge of the couch to kind of put your hands down on. And that made a nice height for things like this. All right. But you can step back, step in, and come up. So you want to try to keep the back fairly straight here. It's another way of working the core to do your burpee with good posture. All right. All right, side plank. All right, lift it up again. Now, if you need to rest any time during this, do it. Just drop for a second, reset, rest, and then get back to it, all right? This is fairly challenging, so it wouldn't be unreasonable if you needed some rest. Oh, gotta straighten out a little bit. Oh. Chest is out, hips up. I'm really feeling the obliques underneath here. And those are the muscles we're really going for. Those are the ones that are bridging up, stopping me from collapsing. All right. Tighten your butt, push the hips forward, stick the chest out. 3, 2, 1. On the other side. All right. Lift it up here. Holding. Starts off not as bad, so that's good. All right, so bracing it up. Set the shoulder up good. Chest is out. Butt's tight. Push those hips forward. Your hip is slowly going to want to fall like my hip is. Keep trying to squeeze it up. Get that work into those obliques good. Pull those abs in while you're doing it. 15 seconds. Hold on, 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. All right, into burpee land. Keep the chest out a little bit. It'll help keep the back straight a little bit more. 15 seconds. Getting some good work done. All right, last set. Side plank, and we're off. Now, if you're starting to drop your hip too much and you can't stop it from dropping, you should go to your knees. If it's dropping when you're on your knees, take a break. Maybe take 10 seconds off, 10 seconds on. All right? Having a quality muscle squeeze is better than having a partial muscle squeeze. All right? Oh boy. Can you feel it? Hip is up. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Oh. Oh. I got two sides of the core, but that's not 360 yet. Oh boy, what's this workout gonna be like? Woo-hoo. We got left and right, but what about front and back? Oh man, that's gonna be exciting. Whew. Hips up, chest is out, butt's tight, hips forward. Whew. Bracing, squeezing, working. Whew. How many sets to failure or near failure in the muscles is really what stimulates them to change. So if we did just one set of this, it wouldn't do nearly as much as doing multiple sets. But one set would do infinitely more than none. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Oh. All right, burpee time. After these burpees, we're gonna take a minute rest. So maybe you can pick it up a little bit. I'll go for a little faster too. All right. Quick little breather. This one we have the dumbbell stiff leg deadlift. We have the VFs, which is laying on our back. We have the fast feet, which is up here just shuffling around. All right, stiff leg deadlift. Gonna be out here. And I'm going to go kind of narrow stance, weight to the outside a little bit here. I'm going to tip over, chest out, butt out, not bending too much. Try to get the back really straight there too. All right, you can do that with a bar, and you can do it without a weight at all. All right, so just work on that body awareness as you're doing it, all right? So there's a lot of tricks trying to figure out, you think your back is straight, but it's not, all right? So you may need to investigate a little bit to prove that out. All right, so stiff leg deadlift, you definitely want the back straight. Huge benefits if you do, not great if you don't, all right? So keep that chest out, butt out, tipping in, feel that hamstring stretch, and coming back up. All right, so I'm not giving myself a depth I have to get to. I give myself a stretch the hamstrings, keep the chest out and butt out. All right. And there. And so hopefully I can get a little bit more out of this as I go. My hamstrings give up a little bit of their tension But one thing we're also getting in here is that lower back, the back side of the core. All right, we forget those are muscles too. All right, not just the front side of the abs. All right, so now we got the V up. Laying down, reaching back, legs are up, abs in tight, and we're coming up here. Now this is clearly front side of abs, right? Now I can lower my legs out more to get more challenge out of this, but I need to make sure when I lower my legs out, I don't arch my back. Keep it nice and tight. Really tighten up when you're reaching back here. That's when your back wants to arch the most, and it's the greatest opportunity, because that's the closest to good posture you are actually. When you're up at the top, you're not in good posture. You want to be pulling those abs in tight when you're closer to good posture, which is as you're about to set down. All right, fast feet. All right, a little something to get the heart rate up. You know, instead of just being restful, we'll give our core a little bit of a chance to recover, but might as well burn some calories here, right? In, out, out. All right, so now we're kind of clearly in like this front and back of the core here, or back and front. So make sure we're really maintaining really rigid posture, not arching or rounding. All right, so that's where the practice is. On the deadlift, you're not rounding, and on the V-ups, you're not arching. We're defending those positions with the abs and the core muscles. 360 degrees of core. All right, so let's get that deadlift again here. Looks like good, looks good, looks good. It's a good stretch. Good work in there. Stick that tailbone out. Stick that chest out. Every time you get to the top of that, double check your posture. Make sure your shoulders are back, and then keep the shoulders back as you tip over. Keeping your shoulders back will help you keep your back straight. Chest out, butt out. Stick the butt out like you're trying to tear your pants. All right, V-ups. Let's get to work. Now try not to do the work by flinging the arms back and forth. Try to squeeze from the abs. Lower abdominals are pulling in while you're doing this. The harder you pull in, the greater the benefit. Ooh, I can feel it. Really attaching where the ribs are at, right along the rib cage. That's where a lot of those abdominal muscles go. And the harder you pull in, the more you're gonna feel those. All right? Fast feet. Now, a lot of times when I'm doing fast feet, I'll switch which foot steps in first. All right? You might not notice it, but you'll probably have a favorite. All right? And it's good to change it up there. Good for our mind, good for our bodies, good for our coordination. So changing things up a little bit is at least good. Don't be too much in a habit. All right. Habits make us lazy sometimes. All right, they can make good behaviors happen more automatically, which is super helpful. All right. But they also make it so we stop thinking. all right? And that can be dangerous because you spend a couple of decades not thinking, your brain might not be able to do it as well. That's at least a part of what happens to our minds, all right? All right, deadlift. Tipping and coming up. So I feel like I've gotten some more range on the hamstring here, all right? Which is very valuable too. But you gotta make sure that that extra reach that you're getting is not just because you're slouching more, all right? Actually, it is because the back of the leg is stretching farther. All right, so chest is out, butt is out, back is nice and straight. When I do some of these things, I realize how far away I am from an Olympic high diver. Oh, boy, they could fold way in half. Not there, those hamstrings are too tight. All right, good. So I got a little bit of warmness on my lower back. It's a good thing. Part of that warmness was because I held good posture too. All right, my chest is out. All right. Now the pressure is coming from the opposite angle on V-ups. All right. The desire now is to bend the other way in the back, and now the abs are here to cancel that out. All right, so the lower back muscles were there to cancel out the rounding. Now the abs are here to cancel out the arching. And to the extent that which you cancel it out, you get better abs and better back and a happier lower back. All right, if it's starting to get really hard, tuck your legs in more if you're having trouble preventing the arch. Oh, boy. Why are there 3 sets? Why are there 3 sets? I already feel like I got it, you know? All right. So finish off the fast feet here. We got one more set of exercises to go. It's really gonna tie a lot of this stuff together. All right. Some good speed going. Challenge yourself. We're gonna take a minute rest after this one, so feel free to have some fun. "15 seconds. All right. So next one is the dumbbell row. We're gonna do so in the lunge position. You could do this on a bench. I just know that most people don't necessarily have benches all over the place. All right? You know, if you're at home. I would say maybe at some point get one. We use the group exercise steps with extra rise underneath it. It makes a great bench and you can use it for lots of other things, all right? So I think it's a very versatile tool, you know, to use because we actually don't have, at our studio, we don't have any like roll around benches, you know, because we need all of our things to do more than one thing because we want much open space as we can have. We don't want to fill it up. All right, so this row, it's got a nice big stance here. Back leg is back, I'm sinking down here, chest is out, butt is out, getting that back straight again. All right, we're gonna roll on one side, roll the other side, and then we're gonna do a plank. All right, ready? Here we go. Push that chest out. At the top here, make sure the shoulder is away from the ear, squeezing back there. All right. For a lot of these kind of exercises where the shoulders are involved, which is an awful lot of exercises, it's worth wasting effort squeezing a better position. All right. You're gonna like that a decade from now that you spent some time doing that. All right. Shoulders away, chest is out. You might even like it minutes from now. All right. It's a lot easier on your shoulder joint when you push your chest out, squeeze in. Now what we're also getting as we're doing this is the abs are preventing a twisting action right now. All right? I don't like forcing a twist in the abs, but I like making them fight against a twist. All right? Sometimes our lower back's not going to appreciate you making a twist happen. All right? It likes to be some stability, but fighting against a twist is very valuable. So right now, because we're weighted on one side, there is some twist dynamics that I'm trying to fight against, keeping my chest out, sinking in here. If you can, try to push your chest out first and then pull. Push your chest out first and then pull. Another thing you're gonna notice I do a little bit on this, I don't go all the way down. All right? When you go all the way down, sometimes you untuck that shoulder. It's tough to get it back in the right position. And I really want to work those muscles in between the shoulder blades and down the back, all right? Not up in the neck so much. So make sure you're not scrunching and hunching here. Shoulders away, chest is out, all right? Now we got the plank. Now this one, I've done my fair share of planks. Doesn't feel as hard to me as it might be for some other people. All right, but what you can do to bring more out of a plank is what you flex while you're holding this plank. All right, so I can pull my abs in a little more. All right, bend the knees slightly. I can press my hands into the ground. And I can bring some more out of this plank. I can tighten the butt. Tighten the butt. Abs pulled in. Squeezing. All right, right back to the row. All right. Now, you're going to pay attention to the row if your core has started to get too tired. All right. Push that chest out, squeeze it back. Or make sure you're maintaining a pretty good trunk position. Make sure you're not turning your body as you're going. Oh. Well. Hey, Sarah. I'm making a video. Can I call you back? All right, cool. All right, good. I have television. So what happens? Anything can happen. At least it wasn't an emergency, so that's good. Even though it sounded like one, that's the ring that Sarah has, all right? Just to make sure I get it. Get the message. All right, other side. All right. Bound to happen to you while you're working out too, right? Interruptions, they happen. All right. Push the chest out. Squeeze the shoulder back. Puff the chest out as we're doing this. Exaggerate that squeeze back. Keep that chest out because that's where the abs stay more engaged when the chest is out. If you start hunching, it's no longer a core exercise. It's a lower back thing. All right, it's plank time. Lock it in. Abs in tight. Slight bend the knees. Press those hands in the ground a little bit. And pull those elbows back towards me. Whew. Getting there. Twenty seconds. Bracing, holding, squeezing. Make sure you're not arching. So take that tailbone and try to tuck it between your legs. To the chest and push it out a little bit. Don't hunch up your shoulders either. Got it. All right. We got one more, right, Bobby? Yeah, pretty sure. Phone call messed me up a little. Good, here we go. All right. Oh, I got some good sweat going. That's when I found out what my eyebrows are for. Yeah, let's get the sweat out of my eyeballs. If you don't have luxuriously thick and full eyebrows like I do, I guess you're out of luck. The sweat's gonna go right in there. Blessed with giant bushy eyebrows. I think one of our friends that does the workouts a lot says, I mention my eyebrows and my sweat a lot in some of the videos I've made. There's another one. There's another one. Add it to the list. Just think about it sometimes, you know? All right, here we go. Let's get this work in. If you say we're like super bored by this exercise and wasn't challenging enough, 1, go heavier. All right, 2, get a better squeeze. 3, you could try to go hands free on the other side. All right, that's even more core work there. All right. My leg is going crazy too. Push the chest out. Squeeze your shoulder away from the air. 10 seconds. All right. Planks. There you go. How you doing? Nice. Having a great time. How about you? Why don't we just hold this last one for 5 minutes? Just kidding. Something easy like 5 minutes. You guys, if you're not aware what the world record is for plank, you don't want to know what it is. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. It'll have you very upset. All right, abs in tight. Lower abdominals pulling in. Oh, my bottom of my feet are getting tired out. Almost there. Oh, we did it. All right, let's go right into stretch here, all right? Right into stretch. All right, we gotta be good with our time. Be good with our time. Use time well. All right, pull that knee in towards you. We got our stretches. We got this knee in one, ankle of the knee. We got the tricep, hamstring, hip flexor, quad, calf, and chest. All right. So we're gonna do a quick little moment on each one of those. It's fairly short. All right. Probably should run through it 3 times, but I know most people will struggle to even do one. So let's at least get this one in. Don't skip it like it's got nothing to do with you. All right. All right. Other side. Like, I only have so much time. You need to spend some of that time on stretching. All right? You will not regret the time you spent stretching. You will regret the time you spent not stretching. Pull this knee in towards you. Oh, chest is out. We're gonna maintain good posture in stretch time here too. All right, ankle over the knee. Grab that bottom leg, pull it towards you. Oh, yeah, hip stretch. Now, for me, sometimes I get pretty happy that I just got a hold of my leg, but I do need to try to pull it towards me. All right? So you try to bend the arms a little bit, pull it towards you a little bit. Stretch this butt cheek and hip out. Oof. Other side. Cross ankle over, reach through, grab that bottom leg, pull it towards you. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a good time. All right, so hopefully you're enjoying some of these workouts. You know, they are just, I don't know, they got a little bit of fanciness, but they're not really anything fancy. They're good work. And this is the good work that you have to do. All right, let's come on up. Let's get the tricep going here. All right, reach back, reach it up. All right, so as it turns out, much of life is showing up regularly and taking care of business. All right, and that's really what really effective workouts are about. Other side, you know, the funny thing is about most advertisements about fitness stuff and supplements, those people in the ad, probably the only time they've ever taken it is when they sipped it for the ad, all right? Or they pulled on the device for the ad, all right? They didn't actually work out that way to get where they were, all right? You know, a lot of them actually did some workouts besides that, and then they were hired to look good next to that product, all right? Chest out, butt out, tipping in there. So they had discipline and they did the basic stuff, not the willy-nilly fun, crazy thing that may even be advertising, but the basic, hard, classic work, you know, in those muscle groups to get a big benefit. All right, tip in there. Oh, hammy. Why do you hate me so much, hamstring? Golly. I've had a war with my hamstrings ever since I was 16 or something here. All right, maybe 15. If we call it 15, then we could say it's 30 years. Chest out, butt out. Every once in a while when I do math like that, I'm like, oh yeah, man, 30 years old than a 15-year-old. Yeah, I'm like a little older. I'm like that old dog that thinks he's still a puppy though, all right? All right, press that heel back behind you, push the hip forward, abs in tight. And that doesn't mean I think I'm old. It's just I probably am not 15 anymore. Good thing I'm not. Oh man. I wouldn't go back if you paid me. All right, other side. Push hips forward. Press that heel back. But actually, that does segue into my thought for the day. I don't know, we'll wait on it for a second though, but you know, in some of these years, we really worry a lot about what other people think about us here. All right, so let's get the quad stretch. All right, point that knee down, abs in tight, push the hips forward. Oh, let's just do it, Bobby. Let's pop it over there. All right, so Psalm 118, 6, I believe, says, "The Lord is for me, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me?" All right. All right, other side. And now we get awful scared of people a lot of times. You know, their judgment, what they think about us, and certainly as a teenager, right? So I was 15. It was like I planned that, but I didn't actually. All right. All right, so, you know, but when I think about that verse, you know, is Dave Ramsey, you know, he's a person I follow on financial advice and things like that. He says when he made millions of dollars and then he lost it all, went bankrupt, and that really burned him and that got him on this quest to help out other people. All right, let's get the calf stretch. Press that heel down, bend that front knee. And one thing he said is that he lost the fear of man. You know, he was done trying to impress people because his first shot at making millions was really just to impress people. All right, and so going to switch sides. And so he worried about what people thought of him. And this time he decided, I'm not going to do that. And look where he went to, right? I'm not going to worry about what people think. I'm going to focus on what God thinks and what God wants me to do. All right? Because what can mere people do to you? You know, it says in the Bible, like, you know, people can, what can they kill you? They can destroy your body, but they can't do anything to your soul. God can do both. You should worry about that. All right? Shoulder down, chest is out, turning away. You should worry about the one who has control of both. All right? You know, should work to impress him. All right? So I think most of the time, you know, one of the top 5 regrets of the dying is that I should have lived a life, you know, more true to what I was feeling, not what other people thought I should do. All right, other side. Powerful, right? All right. Right there, big stretch, puff it out. You know, so don't live a life trying to do what you think other people want you to do. All right, live a life that goes, what is going to, you know, fulfill my purpose here the best? Maybe I'll focus in on that. Even if it's weird and some people might think I'm a little bit strange and odd and, you know, all those kind of things. All right, we need you to be the you that you're supposed to be. All right, that God designed you for. All right, not the one like the cookie cutter. We don't need more cookie cutters. You know, we don't need more copies of people. We need you. We need you to be you. All right, and God has a plan for you. All right, and so do not fear, and to go out and take some of those steps. Let's say a quick prayer. God, thank you for this time we had to exercise, help it to tune our bodies, but it also tunes our mind. You designed our bodies not as just some sort of weird shell that carries our mind around, you know, but they're integrated. The chemicals that we release when we exercise affect our brain. They change the wave patterns of our brain. You know, they move us into a more positive, hopeful, and empowered place mentally, you know, as well. So help us to invest continually in some physical movement and activity that allows our brains, you know, to flourish and be strong also. Because, you know, once our body goes, our brain goes, you know, our soul and spirit aren't far behind, you know, and so help us to balance those things out, to take care of all those areas and be wise and use them, you know, to honor you and the purpose that you put us here for. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen. All right, have fun, be safe, God bless. Oh yeah, on the break. Also, won't see you next week. I was like, tell him something. I got to tell you one thing. You probably left already. All right, but have somebody having fun spinning. All right, we're going to take the summer off. All right, we're taking July and August off. We need to take it easy a little bit. All right, we got to spend a little more time with our families, mow the grass more often too. All right, so you know, so we're going to take the summer off on that. You might see occasional things here and there, but you know, we'll talk back to you in September. All right. So I'm sure you'll all be crying and things like that, and like there's thousands of messages are going to pour in saying, no, don't take the summer off. But you know what? Got to do what we got to do. All right. So we'll see you later. All right. Now have fun, be safe. God bless. And woo!